Kevin, I'll wait for your okay.
Recording is live.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the KubeStellar community meeting for today, March 5th, 2026. Welcome to everybody here live and those of you watching on the recording on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining. If you want access to this very fine agenda that we create, it's at kubestellar.io/join_us. When you go there, you'll be asked to join a Google group. When you join that Google group, that's how you get access to this agenda. When you get access to this agenda, you can type in it. Okay, enough of that. We have a mailing list also that what you'll be signed up for when you join that Google group. Let me go on. Let me go on do not disturb. There we go. Okay. And we have a Slack channel. We are now in the cloud native CNCF Slack organization. If you want to see this or other versions of this meeting, you would go to kubestellar.io/TV. You know that already because you're watching it on the recording. If you want to get to this agenda, you would go to kubestellar.io/agenda. If you would be so kind, if you do join the meeting, please add your name to the list of attendees for that specific meeting section. You can add items to the agenda at any time during the meeting, before the meeting. We've asked that you don't add it after the meeting, though. Okay, so we, as proud members, Kevin, do you have a question?
Yes. Do you mean to be sharing the agenda right now?
I would like to share the agenda. Thank you, Kevin. Let me share the agenda. Kevin, can you see the shared agenda?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. All right, so here is the links again, kubestellar.io/TV. That's where you're watching this. kubestellar.io/agenda. That's this specific thing that I'm scrolling up and down in. And kubestellar.io/join_us. That's where you would go to punch a button that says join the KubeStellar dev mailing list and give me access to this agenda so I can make nice updates. Okay, as members of the community, maintainers of the KubeStellar CNCF sandbox project, we abide by a contributor code of conduct, and I usually read it, and I'll do so here. As contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community, and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute through reporting, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We are committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, body size, ethnicity, race, age, religion, or nationality. And I most times translate into being nice to one another. It's a great rule of thumb. Could use more of it in this world. I think you'd all agree. Okay, so we are now in progress. Where are we here? Okay, so thank you all for joining and attending. What we've got coming up soon, very, very soon. Where are we? We're at March 5th. So in a little less than 3 weeks, we'll be in Amsterdam at KubeCon EU. We've had a talk accepted by Paolo and Braulio, and they will be giving a talk in, I don't know that I've gotten the time or date for that, but I'll have to do that and add that here a little bit later. I'll be at the Partner Pavilion on Wednesday between 2 and 5 p.m. local time. And we have a lightning talk on Monday. I don't have a time yet for when that's scheduled. It's usually around 11 a.m. with the other platform orchestration people. So there'll be 3 places where you can interact with us, show floor, and of course I'll be there if you are walking around. So if you want to talk with me in situ, I'd be happy to have a conversation. KubeStellar's IFOS update, our interns for open source program this spring is a bit smaller than it's been in the past. A reason for that, admittedly, is because of the advent of AI. I didn't feel there was a possibility to create any program traditionally that would take any more than 30 minutes or a weekend to finish. So I didn't create more than 2 focused programs this time around. First one is on documentation self-service enablement. So this essentially just makes it shores up the rest of our documentation, make sure it matches with the programs completely. And it also works by determining feedback for those that are reading that documentation. and being able to install our projects and so forth. So it's mostly concerned with documentation and onboarding to our projects. The second is integration ecosystem development specialist. So this is a part and parcel is the ability for us to reach out to other folks that are in the CNCF sandbox or incubation or graduated programs. There's over 200 of these, ourselves included. And this helps us determine how we can best integrate them into the KubeStellar universe. As KubeStellar is an operations and deployment mechanism, a tool. We like to be inclusive of as many CNCF projects as we possibly can. And that's what this particular program focuses on. Right now, we have about six interns, or two of which are paid, one for each program, and four of which are unpaid and are just climbing our ladder. We also have interaction with the Cornell's software-defined farm program. They're working on enclave and confidential computing. And Georgia Tech often joins us in the summer. So we'll have more work for them there. What I've learned and how I'll be directing the programs in the future as part of, I guess, director of the IFOS programs, is to work with folks who join to work in a test-driven execution or test-driven design or test-driven development of our projects going forward, which means there will be little to no code written by these mentees. They will learn quite simply how to test our projects to the degree and extent they can programmatically to prove that let's say nil pointers exist, or to prove that inconsistencies exist, or to prove that documentation doesn't match what is currently in the project. So these are the types of things that we want to encourage our interns to do. When they do those things, they're rewarded by having code automatically written in the background by Copilot via Claude or Gemini or Codex, and to have that inserted into the source code for further maintenance by such automated mechanisms again, and further testing. This seems to be the best way to use the technology that's currently available to us in AI agents, and I've had a lot of success with it. So I'll continue to encourage our interns to do the same. Okay, that's it for me in IFOS and in KubeCon and outreach. Does anybody want to give, Mike, do you want to give any update on upgrade paths for traditional KubeStellar or any of the upcoming features?
Yeah, well, I think, like it says, I'm focused on getting the upgrade to Kubernetes 1.32 done. We have a contributor working on that, and I'm doing reviewing and trying to get that done.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Kevin, anything you want to give in terms of an update for docs? Anything we can edit out of here now, or is there anything we can change?
Let me look at the copy on my browser. Let's
Okay.
see. So I am still working in the organization. What I've discovered is that our breaking it into legacy and non-legacy sections is a broken part of the website. So I am focusing on fixing that so I can finish the reorg, because and I just got my API key for Claude, which will simplify
Excellent.
this. So the goal is to get the active parts of the project featured in the docs menu, and the parts we need all the time, community, contribution guide, all of that, to be accessible. And because that was buried down in the KubeStellar section of the site as opposed to the regular site. And that's one of the menus that's failing right now. So that's the goal. And I have not been accepting PRs on the site because it's fundamentally broken, and I need to fix the basic structure before I let anybody else contribute to it.
Okay. Very good. All right. All right, Kevin. So just if you want to just edit this to be anything closer to what you're currently working on, that would be helpful. I think I don't know that we have to pound home the netlify anymore, do we? It's automated. Yeah.
It's automated.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, so give that a refresh if you want when you get some findings from what you're working on soon. All right. I'm going to use a little bit of the balance of time for comments and questions and a demonstration, further demonstration of console. So if you're all open to that. So I'm navigating to console.kubestellar.io. This is the demonstration site that's automatically created each time we get any kind of changes to the console repo. Yeah, you're forced to stay in demo mode in this console. If you look to switch out of the console, you will be prompted very nicely with some installation instructions, very simple and straightforward. These are great for people who are not going to be working in development. For those of you that will be working in development, once you do install this, you can then go into your user profile, click on developer, which will exist over here. Matter of fact, I might even just add developer in there too. You click on developer, and then you'll be prompted with different instructions, which instruct you to clone the repo locally. These specific set of instructions that you get here do not clone the repo locally. They simply pull what it's basically necessary to start binaries. There is no building of the actual code base. So just be aware of that. Recently, we've added in place updates. So you will see that right now you will be able to pick a stable, which is weekly or nightly, and you also have the option to pick a development. If you do install as a developer, you'll have a development location here that you can use, and that's very helpful for folks that want to co-develop along with us. And let's see if I can get it up going here, and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, it's going to be stubborn today. Okay, so let's just move on with the console. All right. So as I mentioned before, there's the console is comprised of three major things, right? First is dashboards. So the dashboards are aligned on the left-hand side. Okay, dashboards are in this upper section. There's some helper functions for things like user management, namespaces, things that are common to all those dashboards, and also our marketplace. In the middle is a dashboard itself. So the main dashboard has special features like AI card recommendations. What should you add as an AI card? So let's add that AI card. Boom. It also has AI missions that it recommends. Okay, so this is AI running in the background, determining, hey, there's something going on that you should take a look at. Put that in focus. Here's how to do it really quickly. All these dashboards have inside of them components. Some have special components. For instance, in the My clusters, there's this cluster info card. This is not available on any of the other dashboards. Its home is right here. You can see here on the cluster info card, we have important information like the number of CPUs, GPUs, pods, um, and so forth, and nodes that are located in a specific on a specific cluster. These are all demo items, but we do support, of course, Amazon, Azure, Google, um, um, what's that one? CoreWeave, Oracle, Kind, Rancher, uh, plain old Kubernetes, et cetera, et cetera. So each one of those has a designation, has a way for you to get information about what the cluster has internally and what it's using. So, but this is a special one just for the clusters dashboard. Below that, you see these things that are in yellow. They're in yellow and they have a demo badge. That's just to keep it very clear and easily denotated for those people that are looking at it that this is just demo data, not live data. When live data is available, there's that border goes away, that demo badge goes away, and you can see real live data about your clusters, your nodes, your GPUs, etc. These are called cards. Cards you have many common functions. So cards have the ability to search, sort, sort, sort direction, pagination, and filter. Okay, so if you have pagination, you have many different items that are listed, you can go ahead and use the sorting and the pagination and so forth. There's also a refresh button, which will allow you to refresh any data on that. Of course, this is in demo mode, so it's kind of moot. You have the ability to minimize and maximize the card in place. You have the ability to show the card in full screen. You have the ability to open a bug automatically for that specific card. So right now I don't have any GitHub credentials because I'm running in demo mode, but suffice to say, you put in the title of your issue, you put in the description of your issue, and then submit it, and then you will see the status of your issue as it runs through our CI. You do gain points by, we call them KubeStellar coins, by adding issues and PRs that you submit. Currently we're giving 300 coins for each submission of an issue and 100 coins for each submission of a feature. Okay. So you can open issues directly with our GitHub repository directly through the console, and we reward you for doing so. So I told you about dashboards, told you about cards. There's a few more functions here. You can also configure the card. There might be something there might be filters that you can set by default. You can copy a link to the card so you can send it to a friend. They won't see the same data that you see because it'll depend on their kubeconfig configuration that we read, but you can send a card over to them. You can resize the card to be small, medium, large, wide, not wide, etc. Once you upon resizing, right, the cards shift around to compensate by wrapping. You also can export widgets. So on your desktop, you can run widgets that keep track of the content that's in that specific card. We use a project called UberSeeked under the covers, which is essentially just, I believe it's just an Electron project. We do also allow you to use, you can use PWA for this as well. You can also export just plain old stat blocks. And so if you want to just put a stat block on your screen, you can do that too. Okay. And then we have entire hosts of things in templates. So this is combinations of cards and stat blocks, or combinations of stat blocks. So you've got all that. What else is there? And I think there was one, oh, and of course you have the option to remove the card altogether. So that's common to all these cards, and that's what you'll see. You can add, remove, delete cards, and of course I showed you how to delete them. But you can also add cards. You click that little plus button in the bottom right. You can add templates, which are combinations of cards. You can reset this so that it has the original set of cards that came with it, or just add the cards that were originally with it. The cards, we have over 160 of them, so you can search for things like health, or maybe I just want to focus on DNS, or maybe I just want to focus on, let's say, etcd. I can focus on deployment, maybe, right? So all the you can create your own custom cards with the help of AI, and you can also create your own custom stat blocks. Okay, and then you'll even get a preview of what that looks like. All right, so that covers it. So that's cards, that's dashboards. Here's your stat blocks. Stat blocks sometimes have actions, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you can click on them and they'll do things for you. So, like for instance, when I click on clusters, I get the all. When I click on healthy, I get a subset of that. And because there's nothing unhealthy or offline, I don't switch to that. Things like nodes, this stat block will take me to another dashboard entirely, so I can see the information about nodes. So that's essentially the basics of how to use KubeStellar's console. And of course, you have all the regular trimmings of what you're used to on a user interface, even things like alerts. You can configure alerts yourself if you would like by going to the alerts dashboard and setting up alert rules. When you set up an alert rule, you can set it how it alerts you, and it's based on information that's gathered from most cards. Hi, Lulu. Okay, so Next up, I just wanted to show you two more things and we'll be on our way. So we just this week added something called a console KB. So the console KB is a repo that's dedicated to housing prompts or agents, as some might refer to it, that automatically install or troubleshoot situations that are happening in your clusters. Let me explain what that is. So we have a console KB repo where we keep installers and solutions. Solutions are solutions to problems that you might have in your cluster. The nice part about it is because the console is born of AI and uses AI, it can create recommendations for you based on what it sees happening in your specific clusters. So in this case, in this demonstration, it's determining that it's found some problems with Prometheus are happening, and these cards for Prometheus may be the answer to our problems. But the only way we'll know is if we import them and run them in the AI missions. The same is true for installers. We have all the CNCF projects are covered here. There's some that have only one installer, some have several, in place of things like Argo. When you open up that specific installer, you'll see the prompt that will be used to instruct the AI mission how to install, uninstall, update, upgrade, or troubleshoot the that specific project or that repo in that project. Tags are available. You can search. There's a faceted search up top that you can use to sort on things like incubation phase, sandbox phase, graduated phase. You also have different difficulty levels for these things, as well as matching and percentage of match. You could see these if you agree or disagree on the specific information that's in any of these cards, you are more than welcome to improve. Improving will take you directly to the AI mission as it exists in the console KB repo, and you can make further improvements to it. And of course, you can view the raw information that will be used for the prompt here. You can also share it with friends. Once you share it, you give it to somebody else. They can open up a browser. You can drop it in, and it'll take them directly to that card. Okay, so that about does it. Any comments or questions for me? Okay, so just remember that when you're using the console in demo mode, which is console.kubestellar.io, the fastest way to get your own and get started is to click on I want my own and just follow these instructions. It takes about 45 seconds. Some of the folks that are here on this call will also attest to the fact that it does this in 45 seconds, believe it or not. It takes 45 seconds to download, install, and start, and you'll have your own running version of KubeStellar Console. You add an agent to that, and it becomes even more powerful with a CLI coding agent. All right. Thanks, folks, for your time today. That's all I have to share. Does anybody else here that's on the call want to impart anything on the meeting before we bring it to a close? Okay, folks, thank you so much for joining today. Lulu says thank you also. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks.